Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Whiskey Entitled. As you can tell, I have no idea what we were counting down to get into the beginning of the show. But in case you're curious, today's show is going to be about Instagram. And I know what you're thinking. You're on Twitch watching this, watching the replay on YouTube, and you're thinking, what does this have to do with me? Well, here's what's up. A lot of people that are on Instagram, you probably are also on Instagram, don't realize what's going on in the whiskey industry behind the scenes. So we're going to try to pull the curtain back a little bit for you. In case you wanted to look behind it. But if you didn't want to look behind the curtain, then you really got to ask yourself what you're doing in my house.
Yeah, like, is there like a curtain that we don't know about? Because I went to your house, man.
I have no idea.
I actually do have a curtain in my house.
What was he talking about? I have no idea.
Actually, do have a curtain in my house.
No clue where you're going with that, but sure. Welcome everybody.
Welcome.
Hope you guys are doing well.
Very well. I hope you're doing well.
Yeah, no. This is what's it? Episode 3 of this year, 2021. Just
Episode
in case I
3
want to
on
do
Twitch?
podcasting later, I want to make sure I mark that down. So
Yeah.
you know.
Welcome to episode 3 of the Whiskey Entitled 2021 on Twitch. Tres.
The
Tres el número uno.
microphone
See.
popped. Shalom.
You're
What's up, Drew? But yeah, no. Yeah, no. It was interesting. I think it was Bianca. Was it last week you did a podcast, or was it shown 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, I was on TLE.
Please tell us what that stands for.
I think it's the Lounge Experience.
Yep.
Yep.
It's a fun
it's
cigar
with
podcast.
Erica and Amy. And honestly, it was my second time on there. I think this time was the most vulnerable and most honest version of myself. The first time I was on there was talking about whiskey pairings, like cigar and whiskey pairings, like whiskey and food pairings, and my experience getting women more intrigued. And this time around, it was more about what we're talking about, my experience, and not just my own experience, the experience of many others, of interacting with other quote unquote influencers that are cigar and spirit influencers. And sometimes some people are like, just in regular life and regular, any type of industry, there's real people.
Yep.
And then there's not so real people. And not that it's anything bad, it's just how they approach their interactions with others, maybe more authentically or more inauthentically. And that's what the focus was about.
Gotcha. No, I think that's great. Like, the stuff you brought up was really interesting, and I thought, like, hey, like, since you are a co-host, I'd love to bring some of it up, and then actually bring other things into it as well, like how things are going in industry, what things that brands expect from us, what we expect from brands, and so on. So, before we jump in,
Sure.
Walter, what is in your glass today?
You know what's in my glass.
I actually don't. Hope it's not Coke again.
No, I
Not
Oh.
sponsor.
All right. Today it's the Glenfiddich 22 Grand Cortez China exclusive cask. In case you want to see the back. In case you're curious, it's the same
Nice.
place where
Nice.
COVID came from. That's where this bottle's going. It's absolutely tasty and delicious.
That's good.
But the full
All right.
review will be on the YouTubes. And honestly, I placed it. Me and my brother both placed it in like the 250 to 300 range. But
Okay.
it was like 400 shipped to my house. So
Was
Oh
that
my
just because
God.
of shipping, or is like what was the cost?
shipping
at
was
there?
40. So it was actually, once you converted from Great British pounds, it was about 360.
And do you think that's a reasonable price? Let's say if it was landed here today at 360 price, would
If it landed here in America at 350, I'd be on the fence. If it landed at 3, I'd go buy another.
Okay, that's interesting.
Bianca, what's
Yeah.
what's in your glass?
I'm having one of my go-to drams today. I had a tough day. I just wanted an easy pour.
Okay. What's Bianca's easy pour?
Proper 12. Oh, right. Glendronach 12. That's what I meant.
Okay. Yeah. No, I think I had that last week or last week. But no, it's a great.
F you, Wally. F you.
It is a great bottle.
You know,
It's something that you should do on
Better
yourself.
than the other McKellen. Yeah.
That stands for forget you, in case anyone's curious.
You can swear it. Don't worry about it.
Forget you.
Yeah. So for me,
Sounds like
I'm having Wally's favorite. It's
Are
Dalmore
you?
Dominion.
Oh,
That
Yeah.
one's
Ah.
good.
So it is a travel exclusive. So you're not the only one that got something from somewhere else.
Oh yes.
It does have the pregnancy logo, so that means it's from the UK. For
Correct.
some
The
reason,
picture of the lady.
I will promise not consume
Yeah.
that bottle.
The
When
picture
I'm
of the lady
pregnant.
drinking while she's pregnant.
legit too. She's like actually drinking.
Wait, why does it say? Why isn't the VAT sticker covered? Did you pay VAT?
I cannot confirm or deny.
Probably.
Oh, somebody played VAT. That's not good.
No, I think this
That's
was
not
from
what-
this was before one of the whiskey sites got closed down due to tariffs and import issues. So yeah. Who's the Scotch girl? Wow.
I
Man,
just told him.
man, you gotta know.
Who is the Scotch girl?
You gotta know,
Yeah.
Mexi. Same.
Hi, I'm Bianca. Nice to meet you.
That's Garrett. Nice to meet
Okay.
Garrett.
What's your name? Who are you?
Yeah.
I just told you
Mr.
who he is.
Guy in the shower that's very awkwardly watching two guys and a girl talking right now.
I told you how to use your phone in the shower. If you missed my pro tip, iPhone plus sandwich bag equals works great.
Charles, have you ever like called Wally and he's in the shower? Like, I feel like Wally's
No,
always
we've called
in
each
the
other when
shower.
we're on the toilet though.
Yeah, toilet is totally different. We've Discorded that way.
Yeah, we've done that. But that's what
Oh my
guys do.
God. No.
Dropping
I
a
have
deuce,
not
you
to
know.
that level, but like on the shower, he'll answer. And I used to FaceTime Wally, and I stopped. I ceased from doing that, and he was like, "I can't." And like it's like facing up to the ceiling. I'm in the shower. I'm like,
That's
I don't
Walter,
need to
though.
see all that.
He thinks a
That-
call is important, not just a call.
Yeah.
That's kind of true nowadays. Who
I just
really
wanna
calls
say-
people?
I just called to say we're in the
To say-
shower.
And
I
then
love
since
Walter.
Ben is in the chat, if Ben wants to do whiskey glasses, we can actually put it down below, and you can order whiskey glasses if Ben wants to agree to that. We can work something out, Ben.
I would like to work something out with Ben on ordering whiskey glasses, mostly frosted with the mark in
Why
the middle.
don't I have?
He knows.
I have the logo because I'm conceited.
Yeah, I
So
don't.
let me just
I don't have it anymore. Sorry.
Scotch logo.
I grabbed
wait.
this one.
On the other side is
Boom.
a
person that's in the chat right now. Fancy.
Yes.
Is this better?
So since this is also a whiskey show, and we talk about bottles we picked up this week, what do you guys have that arrived?
Go for it, Walter.
I don't have
Oh,
any.
just 3 bottles of Glenfiddich 19 Age of Discovery Bourbon Cask Reserve.
Who helped you
Wow.
get that bottle?
I
bottles?
wonder.
Mexican drug mules in Miami.
Okay.
Ah, the Mexican mafia down there. I gotcha.
Also, can we have a
Why do I gotta be
conversation?
Mexican, huh?
Can we have a conversation with Drew about I don't know, putting padding in a box? Like he put no padding in the box, and like when it got delivered, the bottles were fine, but 2 of the Glenfiddich boxes were broken. Like he just put the 3 boxes in. It looked like he put 2 sheets of newspaper and then just sent it. And I was like, "All right, bro.
Oh my god, that's
He's in chat, so
Drew,
he will
that's
probably
so
be.
true.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know. I'm calling him out. I don't mind at all."
There you go. Ben's
No, that's
already
so
got
Drew
the
to do.
glasses.
Play and minimal effort. All right, you want to see mine?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's like underwhelming. Walter doesn't like the bourbon, so but whatever. I really am excited about this one.
Oh, you got an Old Forester 150?
Yes.
No,
This
which
is
batch? Which
number one. Batch 1 or the number 1.
Yeah, there's 1, 2,
I'm
and 3.
excited. So I want to get the other 2.
Sorry.
I think this is delicious. So I tried this one for the first time in a tasting, a Brown Foreman type tasting with it was supposed to be Kingsmen, like focusing on the Kingsmen, the newest one. And this one to me like totally overshadowed the Kingsmen, Glendronach Kingsmen, in my opinion.
Yeah, I wasn't a
Be
fan of
serious.
Kingsman.
Be serious.
I am 100% serious, and if you know me, you know how much I am obsessed with
Oh, you're talking
Glendronach.
about the big. Oh, never mind. I don't talk about.
You're talking about like the Glendronach 28
Yeah,
or
that
29 or whatever it
big-
was. You're,
Yeah.
Yeah,
you're saying
27
this Old
here.
Forester 150 in your hand is better than that.
In my opinion,
She
it
enjoyed
was
it
more
more.
delicious. Yeah.
Hmm.
And Drew was in that same tasting. I'm sorry, it just tasted better. I was underwhelmed.
Your
with the
palate's your
Kingsman.
palate. Your palate's your
Your
palate.
palate's your palate. I'm just shocked. That's all.
It was
I've
not.
I've heard
I would
no.
not put I was like, I honestly, had I done a complete blind tasting, I would have thought that the Old Forester 150 was more expensive than the Glendornick Kingsman.
How much
I
was the
am really
Kingsman? Do you guys
shocked.
know? I'm gonna actually gonna look it up.
Kingsman $1,200.
1K.
And
No,
then how
I
much is
was
the
seeing it.
150?
The 150s on the
Like,
secondary are going for 300 a pop.
Wow, what a
no,
deal!
about 500 if you go online.
I'm sorry, what?
About 500 if you go online now. Yeah.
Wow.
I guess if you're buying it from a store illegally.
No. Go online. Go and check it.
Wow. And Christian
I'll check
says the
it.
Kingsman's an 8 out of 10, but if you think about the price, it's 6 out of 10. Well, I agree
That's
when it
messed
comes
up.
to certain prices.
I
They're
agree.
like,
Yeah, of course. That always makes a difference.
It's
I was
opportunity
underwhelmed. I love all things Glendronach, and that to me was underwhelming.
interesting.
Mhm.
Any other bottles that you picked up that you want to talk about? Bianca?
Me?
Yeah.
Let me see. What else did I pick? You know, I have all this behind me.
I know.
Alright.
It's your call. You don't have to if you don't want to.
I mean, this one was really picked up. This one, we're gonna have a tasting soon. I'm really excited about it. I haven't actually
Star Wars.
tasted it yet.
I'm excited
Star
for you
Wars.
guys to do that because I'm, to be honest, I want more oceanic type bottles to come over here. I tried
Your
some Star
people,
Wars.
right?
My peoples, yeah. So I'm excited for that.
That's
Sadly, distribution is hard for those people because the amount of whiskey they make is not as large scale as other distilleries like in Ireland or Scotland and so on. So a lot of the times it's locally there for the Australia and New Zealand market. But I think Star Wars is one of the first ones to actually branch out. So I'm glad that your team is doing stuff, and hopefully they'll go over to the West Coast.
awesome. I'm
Alrighty.
excited for it.
So since we got that out of the way, just a quick update, guys. If you don't know already, we now have a subscriber button down below. You can now subscribe with your Amazon Prime account. If you have Amazon Prime, which most people do, you get a free subscription once a month, which you can give to us or other people, and it gives us about $2.50 a month. So this will then help us spruce up the stream a bit. There's some subscription services that we would like to participate in, but it requires like $20-$30 overall that we can put more emotes, get different cats, and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, and Ben said he saw it in a store for 200. I've seen 300 on the secondary, but right now, Bianca, I just looked it up because you made me super curious. It's pretty much 500 and falling. Like they peaked out at 900,
Wow.
and they've just been coming down. There are a lot of bottles that'll do that because people think they're like super rare, and then they just come down.
So I wasn't wrong. I told you it was like around $500 if you went online today.
Yep.
Yeah, they're saying 500 and falling. So people are trying to sell them now for 500 and can't get them to move. So.
And then and then on last week's episode, it seems like a lot of people are still talking about the whole Japanese stuff. It seems like it's a big contender of who's going to enforce it, what's going to happen. So if you guys are into that, please check in our last episode. We kind of deep dive into what our opinions on it, just how we feel. I know we both had an agreement that there should be some type of Japanese labeling to kind of push away these bad cats, but how they're doing it is very interesting. So
can I just throw out there that we did a Scotch and Sip video on Japanese whiskey, and my brother thinks that Jizz Llama is the greatest thing of all time.
Really? More than Cat Sanus?
Yeah, no, he thinks Jizz Llama was super great. I was like JSLMA, and I told him my euphemism to remember it's Jizz Llama, and he was like, "Are you serious?" He's like, "That's amazing." And like we started doing the show, and I'm like, "Huh?"
Did he make a funny face about it? He's like,
"Yeah." No, I was the one trying to be normal, and I was like, "So the JSLMA and my straight like Jizz Llama." What's up, Cody?
Hey, dude, Cody. Hey, what up?
But yeah, no, I think it's great. You guys have video. I'll try and put in the description below for YouTube.
You just type yo yo yo
yo yo yo yo yo,
and like Pete will answer.
No, he just says hello to Cody because he's the first time saying something.
That's messed up.
It is what it is, man. Pete the cat selects who he talks to. So
I see. It's a very discriminatory cat.
And if you guys subscribe on with your Amazon Prime or whatever, he'll actually talk to you and he'll claw. I think he'll claw or dance. So you can make
Really?
the cat dance. Yeah, he dances.
All
right, so
I want to dance.
So at the top of the show, we were talked about how like Instagram and then Bianca's time on TLE. So Bianca, if you could just talk to us about what kind of spurred your conversation from the TLE, and then we'll kind of stretch out the conversation from there.
So, honestly, it was very specifically towards over sexualization in our focus of whiskey grammars and cigar grammars, right? So it's become like the cheap and easy way to attract followers. And wait, I don't like this angle that you're showing of me. So it became like the cheap and easy way of attracting grammars or followers to your page, and we started realizing like, okay, at first, okay, yeah, it may look, empowering. Okay, you're comfortable with your own skin, whatever. But just became like, okay, that is your only flex? If that's your only approach? Then, and trying to connect with people, and there's no authenticity. I just feel like, as a woman, I can't connect. I can't relate at all.
Okay.
So I think a lot of other brands, a lot of other influencers, a lot of other people that I've connected with also can relate to the fact that, it's really difficult to respect somebody who the only thing that they have going is showing their goods.
Yep.
They're goodies.
And as bad as it sounds, I know it's empowering. I know you want to say so many things, Walter.
Empowering for who?
It's empowering. I don't know, whatever. So, as much as you wanna, like, I just feel like it's demeaning. I don't know. I just honestly, I wouldn't be proud to have my daughter. I'll be honest with you. So that's just how I think about it, and I also think about like, okay, I am, like, being the Scotch girl is secondary to what I do in like real life. So professionally, I wouldn't want my coworkers or people who report to me to find my page and see me like showing all my goodies to the whole world. So I think about like, how do I want people to respect me? And I want to see myself as somebody who's knowledgeable, and also be able to grow a following or a base of on Instagram that's not just because I'm attractive or I can show my assets, but because I can show my intelligence, which is an even better asset. So that's kind of what the basis of that conversation was. And then the bigger picture was how brands are encouraging this behavior. They're like, okay, behind the scenes, you're telling us that you like our more professional demeanor, but yet you're endorsing these other women, these other influencers. So it's kind of it's like it's a double-edged sword. So how do you actually continue growing or trying to grow in this space if you're seeing that it's kind of like the brands are going the other route? Yeah, so that was kind of what it was about.
Interesting, because like I got a brand deal coming down soon, and actually tells you not to have any sexual, like, explicit photos or photos that accentuate sexuality or sexual poses and stuff like that.
Whatever brand this is, I'm dying to. I mean, after you post it, obviously, I respect them so much.
Yeah, it's really interesting. That's kind of why I was thinking about it. It's like, I do feel as though, and while you can come in if you want, like, I do feel as though that there are certain accounts, I know especially like with beer,
I knew you were gonna say beer.
cigar industry, there is a lot of that sexualization. And I think that's where the account holder wants to go towards, right? It's like, hey, and like you said, female empowerment, like, I feel okay with my body, I want to show it off, yet I also love a cigar, a whiskey, a beer, or something, so I can get it for free. I think everyone knows me. When I started this account, it was for recording, and then I needed to get the budget, so I was like, hey, how do I get free whiskey, and then so on. So I've always told people that, like, that's
started showing your body.
That was my goal, right? Yeah. So I don't have those assets, so I cannot participate in
Charles
those
has been showing his assets in DMs so that
Yeah, you got
free whiskey,
slide
which
in,
makes sense.
subscribe, and you'll get a free
It's
free little
not
look.
even a surprise. Really,
Yeah.
not even a surprise.
But yeah, no, and I'm
You know?
torn because like I understand that like sex, violence, what else? Like those key things, right? Like they sell things, like just like with the news. So I understand that, and that's why it's like on one side, like I understand where they're going. Like even like we mentioned, some people mentioned in chat like OnlyFans, like that's another way for people to, not just women, to monetize themselves, right?
Mhm.
So like I'm okay with that, but then as a influencer, actually, I'm not even gonna do quotation. As an influencer in general, like I feel as though they have a leg up, but sometimes they feel like our photography has a leg up. It just depends, right?
Here's the thing: like, it depends
I
on what
mean,
you
what
consider
talent
a.
do they have?
Yeah, it
Sorry
depends on
for
what you. It depends on what you consider a leg up, because
Yeah.
what it comes down to is like if you think that it's an advantage that you have by having a body that you can rock that other people want to do a quick like for, but they're not actually looking for any type of substance. Sure, if that's your thing, but here's the thing: if you want substance at the end of the day, so you're looking for more. Are you? If you're just looking for followers, if you're purely looking for followers and people to say whatever kind of like quick lewd comments, you're gonna get it if that's your method. But the thing is, if you're looking for more than that, brands will realize that, your followers will realize that, and you know, I mean, you can't just go around showing everybody your booty hole all the time,
Like
thinking that it's gonna be okay.
your
Bianca,
booty hole.
yeah, Bianca, like, do you think that brands like reach out to other influencers that have like more of a sexual, picturesque type style more, or do you feel as though that it's more like the photographer, like what I think my account is or Wally's account is? Like, what's your perception on it?
I think overall, to be honest with you, they look at the people who connect with the pictures. If I'm being completely honest,
Okay.
what I've noticed is that they look at the comments, they look at the feedback, and they look at the audience, and that is the bigger picture. Who's actually being reeled into your page? And is it just people who are saying, "Wow, you look so beautiful! Wow, oh my god," or are they saying, "Oh my god, I'm intrigued by this product," or "I'm intrigued by this"? I think that's what I'm intrigued by, your knowledge, the facts you shared.
So,
So I
sorry.
think that's what I really look for. And I think it can go either by, I'm not a great photographer. I make effort. Sometimes, as you both have seen, that I've purchased a camera. Like I really enjoy framing things a little bit. I try, put some effort. Yeah, the frame. It's all about the framing, right? So I put some effort in there, but I also try to put like some knowledge in there.
Gotcha.
I think it's about, is it, I think it's a full picture. And
Okay.
there's a way of also doing, because how do I explain it? I admire a beautiful woman, like, I have friends that are stunning, that it's not that they just only lead with their sexuality. They make it as an enhancement to the full message they're doing. It's just not the only thing.
So how do you
Right?
feel about let's say people, or no, sorry, women, let's say use their sexuality to lure people in and then educate? How do you think, how do you feel about that? Like, do you think that that's the way to do it, or do you
Is
think
that
not
a
even?
thing?
I think that's fine.
I've seen some accounts.
Yeah, I think that's actually right now. It seems to be like a lot of these influencers are going that route. They're going and figuring it out. Like they're like, oh my god, let me just go beyond the superficial. Let me try to reel people in by being more educational. And I think that's actually a good thing. And I think that's a good shift, to be honest with you.
Okay.
They've tried to build their foundation out of just the superficial stuff. They're like, okay, all right, I've captured enough what I think is enough. Let me try to actually step it up a notch.
I mean, you have
So I
to
think
think inherently Instagram is a visual platform. So
Yep.
for people to do anything but try to get your attention visually, I think there are no other options. It's either beautiful pictures, it's either beautiful videos, or it's, they could be funny videos, but then you've got to
100%.
capture people's attentions, or it's, beautiful products or beautiful scenery, or just everything has to be beautiful,
Yeah. The highlights, right?
100%. No, I totally agree. I totally agree that it's all visual and everything. It's just about the authenticity behind it.
I think
What's
that's
the real, that's really what I'm getting at.
I know Charles isn't gonna like this, but I think that's a kind of a nice feature about Clubhouse is it's not visual.
Yeah, so I'll talk about Clubhouse a
Yeah,
little later because that's another.
sorry, on
Yeah,
there.
no, yeah, it's. I think that there's something lacking with Clubhouse, but and we can talk about that a bit later. But what you were mentioning, like I'm seeing, and I don't know if it's because of TikTok, because I think a lot of accounts that I followed moved to TikTok to get more views with like the little videos, and then move it or repost it to Instagram.
Yes.
And it seems like what's happening is the people that are using, their body to showcase things, notice that it's a certain demographic or a certain group of people that follow it, and they're not interested in the product, whiskey, cigars, or beer. And then now I'm seeing a lot more where females are showcasing their bodies, and then you see a wall of text educating them on this is the thing I'm smoking, the thing I'm drinking, this is what we're doing, this is what it's about, and really dropping a lot of knowledge, which I'm surprised about because it takes a lot of time. Like I am very lazy when it comes to putting, stuff in my feed. So like having someone taking the time and writing this down, I think it's really great. I just don't think it's going to be visible anymore because they think that, hey, you just post this on Instagram, I'm not going to look at it, I'm just going to like it and move on.
Right.
I just think the shift's already gone.
I'm just not into TikTok, so I can't add on to that comment. But I like the fact that there's some effort. I think any effort, the fact that you're thinking about it and you're adding some value to your content, I think is good. It's not, and again, it goes so far beyond just the content. It's about respecting what we enjoy. I hate the fact that, I'm being honest, I think that what I've seen, because Instagram is such, right now, the reality, and whether we love or hate it, is such a big part of marketing, of how consumers enjoy things, of how we connect with people. I hate seeing the fact that things get cheapened, right?
I mean, has it ever been any different on Instagram, honestly?
I actually don't know. Like I feel as though that there has been a shift where I think earlier on when stories were a big thing, like that was the educational platform. Like, hey, here's what we're doing, this is what's happening, especially with photographers too, like, hey, how are I doing lighting and stuff like that. But I feel as though that just with any social media platform, a new one came along, which is now TikTok, and it's taking the younger generation, which is like, I guess, is it Gen Z or what is it now?
Yeah, it's Gen Z. Just their
Yeah.
algorithm is so good on TikTok that like
Yeah, and
you'll spend hours by accident.
And I've had
Am I
major
drinking, by
people
the way?
talk about
I
it.
feel like I'm always the only one drinking.
Say what?
Am I the only one drinking?
Hello.
All right, I just refilled my glass. Just letting you guys know this conversation has led me to drinking.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's technically an unhealthy coping mechanism, considering that alcohol is a poison.
Because I know I'm nervous because I don't want it to lead anywhere else. So
So why would you drink more? You drink less to keep it from leading somewhere you don't want it to go. That makes the most logical sense.
to be less
also,
stressed.
We have a little poll right now. It's what you like on IG. Wondering if it's photos or informational content. So what do you guys look for in IG? Like I know it's a photo based thing. I'm assuming that's what's gonna go. But do a lot of you read? Like there's a few Instagrammers that we all know that when they post something, I take a look at their content on the below because like the amount of things they have from the bottle, the tasting notes is just amazing. And for me, like that's kind of where I like to focus on.
I love that.
But just
I'm really liking how Single Malt Alliance started doing his page now.
People like him, like or like from Barrel to Bottle when they do photography stuff. Like I know, like they like to break it down. You know, Wally with his questions of the day that he stole from me 2 years ago. So
accurate.
Yeah. But yeah, no. Let me know. Sorry, what?
Me with my amazingness, you know.
There you go.
The only difference between me and Charles is consistency. I've been doing it for 2 years now.
Yeah, me now.
Okay. I'm not gonna lie. I go through my phases. I'm going through a hate social media phase. Is that bad?
No, I did that 2 months ago. To be honest.
I'm just like over it.
Am I the only one who just constantly hates social media?
Probably.
So you post every day?
Listen, I post and then I literally might check it once or twice before I go to bed, and then I just dread having to post tomorrow.
Yeah, no.
I had no idea about this about you.
Well, it's also
So,
like practicing photography, right?
Yeah, which
like,
I need.
your autism is showing. What?
When I mentioned the alcoholism being a horrible coping mechanism to what you said before, yeah,
Okay, that's nice.
it's fine. It's good when people know you really well. Believe me,
I love
it's
scotch.
like
Scotch.
no, he's a
Scotch,
robot.
Scotch.
You love
Okay.
my brother. You love my brother.
So,
And then when you're talking about Clubhouse, so Drew, if you're in the chat, I was talking to him yesterday, and I admit there is some great conversations happening. The problem I had with the Clubhouse that I was in was the fact that, or the room that I was in, was there was actually people like there was a lady from the Mars Distillery sales team.
Oh, legit?
Like she was there, so and she was like legit. People know her, and like there's so many questions I would have loved to ask her, and you know like sadly I didn't know how to use the features, raising your hand, getting in, all that kind of stuff. But,
Wait,
like,
they didn't bring you.
They
didn't bring
did
you on
eventually, but like in my head I'm like, hey, these are all the questions that I would love to ask. I wish there was a chat feature.
You could literally just DM her,
And
most.
that's where I was going at. Like I was like, now I have to go to a different platform, DM her or whatever. Or maybe she didn't have Instagram.
You can literally have Clubhouse playing while you go to another platform,
Yeah.
and they actually encourage it. Like they encourage you to go to Instagram, which Clubhouse will still continue to.
Yeah, so and that's where I was like, this is great but then like the moderators, and no offense to them, like they're bringing up people because they're raising their hands and stuff like that. But then you're like, when that person stopped, or you didn't barge in, like at least we have a dynamic where we know when people are gonna talk. But like then we was like, hey, introduce yourself. I'm like, no, I wanted to talk to that lady that was there because it's in Japan right now. It's like, what time?
Yeah.
I would love to know, like, hey, you know, how do you guys are affected? And she was nice enough when she introduced herself. She's like, hey, like, we're part of this. We were one of the founding members. I hope you guys get our whiskey and wherever you are, and that stuff. I'm like, I want to drill down a bit more. Like, hey, is it going to change anything? Do you think it's going to change in a couple of years? And she did mention like it took them 5 years to figure this out. They're glad that this was working, but there's a lot of missed opportunities where you have these experts, right? Like these really strong experts in these fields, and either some person was taking the microphone a lot, which there was a few of those, because I like to talk, but I'm like, share the wealth. But yeah,
they usually have like a really good topic and somebody who's doing a good job of moderating and making sure that people are sharing the stage for people who are up on it. To address what Cody said real quick, some days he dreads posting, especially when it's late, so they take a pic. That's why sometimes I will like literally take pictures in advance. And then like Ben saying he just posts it when he feels like it. That to me is like, that's the better way. And the middle ground for me is that's why you'll never see me post on the weekend. I post stories on the weekend because like to me stories are the place to be a little more personal.
You're like latte post.
You're correct. That's my
I'm
every
washing my
Saturday
car
morning.
post. Who cares?
Correct. Every Saturday morning. Car looks like bukkake. But like when it comes to only wax off at home. But when it comes to actually like posting on Instagram seriously about whiskey, for me, leaving it a Monday through Friday thing gives me room to also just live a regular life on the weekends and not think about it or worry about it. It's nice. It's really nice.
So, I honestly, I have gotten to the point that I just do not give I'm gonna curse. Sorry, Wally. I do not give a fuck what I post. When I post, if I post on a Sunday, if I post on a Tuesday, if I post McAllen Monday, you just post whatever you want. I think if it comes from the heart, it's the best way. And honestly, I think like you take the best pictures when they're the ones that you feel inspired. I think I agree with Ben. Post whatever you feel like it. Whether it's on a weekend, like Wally, if you have that schedule that works for you, do it. I think that as whiskey grammars, what's most important is our uniqueness. The fact that we are very niche and the way that we connect with people. I think the reason what drew me and the reason what started that conversation is the fact that we are so niche, and yes, that will draw a lot of brands to us maybe quicker for whatever reason. We have a lot of responsibility to be authentic, to try to communicate like the knowledge, whether you know the stuff, you know every single recipe behind the brand, the whiskey, or whether you just like it. Come on, come on, Wally. You are the person who you remember how it was made, the barrel, the exact notes. But I'm not. I'm just somebody who like, okay, I like this whiskey, and this is what I'm going to drink it with, right?
Have I
So
told you
we're
about
very
Paulo
different.
Cortado?
We're both whiskey quote unquote grammars, and we enjoy it. It's very polar opposites. We have a lot to offer in different ways, and I think that it's a big responsibility being such a niche group of influencers, which I hate that word, but it's just the label, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we have a responsibility.
So
Go
I
ahead.
think authenticity. Don't lead with your boobs, girls. Lead with your knowledge. That's all I'm saying. That's
lead
all
with
I'm
your
asking.
knowledge boobs.
Your knowledge of boobs, no.
No, your knowledge boobs.
Knowledge
The
boobs?
most attractive boobs that people want to see. Your knowledge
Oh,
boobs.
okay. All right.
Your brains. Yeah, no, for me,
Those
like,
are lobes.
so, like, as we all know, like, you're a person that does events and stuff like that. And this is one thing that I personally have issues with, and maybe you can help me out, is that how is it that you guys can be impartial when you are representing brands in certain things? Like, I see brand ambassadors, and I know that they're going to slant towards a certain, like, let's say a Dalmore rep is going to be like, Dalmore's the best thing. And then they move over, they're going to say Glenfiddich's the best thing. Like, I know that with a grain of salt that they're going to be, partial to that brand. But with influencers, you don't know. We're not getting paid by these brands on certain things. And we're hoping for a very open dialogue with them. Like, how do you be impartial, since you are a whiskey grammer but also do events? Or Wally, do you have a question?
Well, I'm going to answer this before Wally goes.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So in the sense that whenever we do these whiskey events and we partner with brands, we're not trying to sell the product itself.
Okay.
Remember, we in Miami, it's a very blended Scotch, blended whiskey type of dynamic, and very rum oriented. People who are new to single malts overall. It's actually about getting the knowledge in and piquing their interest. And we have been open with when we go to events, saying, you know what, this one was good, but we definitely would refer you to this other brand if you want a more elevated tasting profile or experience, right?
So you're guiding people.
So Drew and I have encountered this. We're like, we're happy to try to help a brand get a good gathering, but we're honest with this, that we're like, this is definitely not the best whiskey. We have been lucky in the sense of we haven't partnered yet, knock on wood, with anybody that we wouldn't say, hey, I've enjoyed, out of the 3 tastings that you gave us, at least one, right?
Do you reach out to those brands that you enjoy, or do you kind of just wait for brands to come to you guys?
Now they come to us.
Okay.
At this point, we were very lucky in the sense of, in Scotch Society 305, we're very transparent. That's how we don't really make any money, in the sense that we just enjoy connecting people. So we were very lucky that our first event brand that we connected was Macallan.
Okay.
So that kind of helped become like a snowball effect, like just more and more brands connected with us because of it. And that I think that really helped escalate our situation. I'm just gonna keep talking so that Wally cannot talk.
I'm cool with that. He talks too much.
Anyway, I think it's where you're going with the fact that, so the Scotch girl was created because I wanted to connect with women.
Okay.
Because of these events. So that kind of helped out a little bit. Just because I'm fabulous. Also.
There you go. Walter, what are you going to say?
I don't remember now.
For reals? Are you saying that or what?
I literally am sitting here and I'm like, I had something for something we said before, and I totally.
How to be impartial, right? We're talking about being impartial.
Oh, how to be impartial. Oh, yeah, no, you just be impartial. That's what's nice about not being attached to any brands, is you can say whatever you want. So that's kind of nice, because you have to think, the goal is for you to learn your palate as well as possible, and then for you to help other people learn their palates as well as possible, and then to to do it, to put the 2 and 2 together. That way everybody can learn and grow together. And that means sometimes ousting yourself for certain things. Like, don't come to me for peat advice if you love heavy peat, but do come to me for peat advice if you hate peat. So it's the same kind of thing. I mean,
I love
It's true.
that's a thing, but like you have to learn yourself well enough that you can help other people to learn themselves even better. And that's super, super important. And it's not that I don't trust people who work for brands. Most of them, if you talk to them on the side, will tell you the truth.
Yeah, it's a problem. It's
So-
on the side though, right?
Because they have a job that they can't keep if they say what they really think. And
Yeah.
that's understandable. Like, you can't talk about the company you work for. I bet you'd get in some serious trouble if you talked about the company you work for. And that's the
Agreed.
thing. Like, I mean, it's the same thing for all of us who
Well,
work
and
for
that's the reason why
companies.
I'm not in that business, right? Like my side thing is not that, right? It's whiskey.
Right, but you could trash talk it if you wanted to. It just wouldn't behoove you and your job.
It just because, like, as you know, a lot of Instagrammers are also in the same industry,
Oh.
right? And that's the hard part.
Ben just reminded me.
What?
Anytime you're
Sorry.
working with a brand, you can always just change the rules.
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything that the brand says. You can literally negotiate. It's the best part.
Yeah,
Like-
absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, I negotiate with brands all the time. Like, I need to be able to say whatever I want to say. If I don't like your whiskey, I need to be able to say that because I'm
Yeah.
known for telling people that I do or don't like something because I do.
You know, like, so the brand I'm going to be working for, they didn't even talk about it. Sorry, go ahead.
No, there's only been one whiskey that I have been asked to. And I've told you guys about this before. There's only been one whiskey that I've been asked to, like, oh, Bianca, if you like it, promote it, whatever, put it. And I just couldn't. It broke my heart.
No, I've had things like that, and then like you just try to find an easier way. Like, hey, I wouldn't use this straight. I would use this in a cocktail or something like that. But like for me,
No.
it's just hard, right? Because like a lot of people trust our opinions on certain things, which is like is
Yeah.
amazing.
Absolutely.
But sometimes it's just hard, right? Like you just got to be like, hey, I'm not a fan. I'm sorry, I can't post about this. I know I've been on that. Or if someone pulls me on the side, like the good thing is like all three of us, I think we have all different palates. So if one of us likes something, I know the other one will not, or vice versa. And everyone's
I
palate's
feel like
individual too. So
I feel like my palate's really similar to yours, Charles. I think Walter's the oddball here. I'm not gonna lie.
I think personally, I'm in the middle. You're more in the peat category than I am. I'm trying to dip my toes,
I'm not that peated.
but I know Wally likes the weird stuff. So there's some things that I'm just like, why would you like this? And then it's like, it's because it tastes like feet. I like feet. Only
No,
fans.
that's why.
There you go.
That's why I don't like Jura 30.
Beg to differ.
I'm not into, but that's cool.
I think feet are gross, but that's a whole different issue. They're for walking, not for licking.
Doesn't matter most of the time because things.
I'm into getting my feet licked.
Yeah, no, like I think for us
Yeah.
three, our credibility is pretty big. Just like we care about like a lot of us chat to other people on Instagram all the time. A lot of people come to us and ask for recommendations. I know Bianca during her tastings, she's kind of walking people through things. I know Walter with his YouTube show that he's kind of helping people, especially with those like 5 minute. Is it 10-second whiskeys or 1 minute whiskeys? Like quick informed decisions. So, Drew, I think we all know that, buddy.
What? What did Drew say?
I can drink pretty much everything, and I agree.
That's the thing. And some people have palates that are accepting to every whiskey out there, but that's not everybody.
Yeah.
That's not normal. Or alcoholics, I guess. I'll do it anyway.
Wait, Drew, what can you share? Can you share the worst brand we've ever worked with? I can't think of any.
Just the brand in general, or just like
It's okay
Whiskey, the worst whiskey
Worst
we've
whiskey?
drank.
You mean the whiskey itself or working with that brand?
Right.
Because most brands have a nice budget and it's fun
Yeah.
to work with them.
Okay, I would say the worst whiskey we've drank.
Oh, that's
Can you
easy.
share that? That'd be great.
I think
'Cause
that
I can say that War Master, whatever that cat.
Oh, that was not good.
Yeah, that was pretty disgusting. I keep saying that. I've said it like three times already.
Bless you?
Bless you.
they couldn't hear that, but you guys could. Sorry. I muted
Oh, that was
myself.
super loud. Are you,
I know.
oh, did you? Oh,
I
my-
muted myself for that one. That was a
You
loud one.
sneezed so. I was so scared for your life.
Loud.
I know. I was like, it's coming. Hudson for me. That maple cast tastes like crap.
I'm trying to think.
That was a.
Oh, this
is
this
it the
too easy.
Valentine? Is it Valentine's that we had that tastes like curry? That was weird.
Oh no, that was Bell's. That was
Bell's.
a '60s bottle of Bell's. That was super delicious. It's just
It
weird.
wasn't. It was weird. I didn't like it.
It was
I didn't want curry
delicious
my
in a
mouth.
weird way,
Oh.
but I like curry.
I like curry too,
Also,
but I
the-
don't want it in my drink.
That was a super weird note for
I
a whiskey.
really do not like this one, Walter.
28-year-old
You-
Kirkland.
I got it for you. I got 2 of them. It was disgusting.
I don't know about disgusting, but not as good as the 22.
It was just nasty. It was
It's
like
not
spirit
nasty.
prep.
Miss Amari,
Ew,
when
what?
I visit again, I'll take you to my buddy's bar. They have good whiskey selection.
I'm gonna try it again, but it was disgusting.
Yeah,
Yes,
the
you
only
have been
bad
over.
whiskey I've ever had that tasted like trash water was literally Copper Fox.
And that was a review that you guys did that you guys said it would taste like trash water.
I was
Yeah,
glad that
like
it was
unfortunately, it
before.
smelled like literally the water at the bottom
You
of a dumpster
finished
in,
it?
in an
Damn.
apartment.
I mean,
Oh,
it
that-
could be like 2 months.
You should try their
I
rum
mean,
cast. It's amazing.
Oh, I want to try.
mean,
What's the other one they have?
They have the
Oh, no.
rum. They have a stout cast.
The stout. That's one I want to try.
Stout cast pretty good. And wow, guys, with Twitch, we seem to be going longer than our 30-minute kind of staple. So
We need to pretend that this is the end of the show so we can end it for YouTube.
wow, being direct. And on that note,
Hey, what do we say at
Bianca?
the end of the show? It's deuces.